Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of Jurassic Comparisons, a series where we take a look at some of the older Jurassic Park figures and compare it to the newer versions of them, just sort of to compare how things have changed, maybe similarities between them, or we're really just here to have fun and do some stuff. This is to celebrate Jurassic June and my second favorite TV franchise's 31st anniversary. The first figure we have is the Dimetrodon. Why the Dimetrodon, you might ask? Well, I'm going off of the JP mark. As you can see there, it is JP01. So we go up with numbers and so on. You can get the idea on what it is. This will be a series that is not very long. I have a few episodes, 6 or so, I think, planned. So yeah, for the next few days you'll get more reviews until it just stopped, because I don't have every single figure, and not every single figure has a newer version. Anyway, so Dimetrodon. This is a very classic and iconic figure. A lot of people have these because they are extremely common for a Jurassic Park figure. And they released back in 1993 when the first movie came out. So it's just a fun little piece of history to have. One of the original figures, and they're extremely common and easy to get, and very cheap as well. You can get these on eBay for not a very high price at all. And sometimes they even come in lots with a bunch of other figures for, again, like a fairly decent price. So you can get yourself a lot of figures and this thing. I was going to call it this beauty, but it's not really that beautiful. In fact, it's kind of ugly. It's very reptilian, surprisingly. I mean, this thing is like 31 years old, so I don't know what I expect. But it's got a very crocodilian looking tail, which I kind of like, actually. I like the style of this one, even though it's not accurate anymore. It's just a fun little piece of Jurassic Park history. So it has mostly a green coloration, as you can probably tell, and it's got some darker grayish greens on top and a lighter green on the bottom, and it has little yellow spots all over its tail, which makes it a very striking appearance to it. And also, look at inside its mouth is also painted. That's epic. Honestly, the inside of the mouth is really nicely painted. Wow, that's pretty cool. Yes, of course it has an action feature where you just pull back this leg and it snaps its little jaws like that. Except it's like its top jaw, which is a little weird, but you know, it's a kid's toy. It's not, other than that, it's pretty much it. It has a little bit of articulation in its legs. You know, you can do that. It really, you don't need this. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna make it sliding on the ground? Like, what is this pose? I highly doubt anyone has ever done this, but you know, it's nice that that option is available if you wanted to do that. Now that we've kind of looked at the older figure, let's go ahead and take a look at how the newer Dimetrodons look. Of course, this doesn't mean that these are inspired off of this one, because it's likely not. But, you know, we're just comparing them anyway because, you know, they're slightly similar in very, very minor ways. Sort of how this one's action feature, as I showed earlier, is kind of similar to this one. So, of course, it's not leg activated. Mattel doesn't usually do that. It's usually with the tail or a button. But if you do this, it does the same thing, kind of. I mean, it's the lower jaw, so it makes more sense. Also, what is this connection with its jaw? Why didn't you just go ahead and do the entire jaw? This just makes it look weird. At least it's not as bad as some of them. But man, it would look so much better if it was like actually, if it opened like that. I don't know what Mattel was doing, but this one is the Jurassic World Dino Rivals Savage Strike Dimetrodon, and it was released in 2019. And it's actually a fairly rare figure. I actually just found this in Walmart and decided to get it, and then I realized I never saw one in store ever again. That's not a joke. I've never seen one in store since. And apparently other people have had that exact same thing. Like, they've experienced the exact same thing. So I don't know if maybe Mattel only included 1 or 2 in each box and then they just never restocked or something. I don't know. That's highly likely because there's sometimes figures like that, which is kind of sad because this is a pretty cool figure. This is the first Dimetrodon they had released since this one, so you know, that's kind of sad, but it's not the best Dimetrodon. I guess all we had to do was wait until Dominion and then we got more, but you know, it is still kind of sad seeing this one not be as available. I don't know how its availability is anymore. You could check eBay and stuff, see if they're available. I don't know, actually, at all, if these things are cheap or not. Because, honestly, I would like to have another one so I could repaint it to look like the original figure that this one was going to release. So, if you didn't know, there's a very obscure line of dinosaur figures that is known as the Destructosaurs. Yes, this is the only Destructosaurus figure I have, and its head is broken, so I have to hold it like this, so I haven't super glued it yet, because I lost the super glue. Very unfortunate, I will say. This is very sad that this one is broken, because it's a really rare figure. But, the Destructosaurus line basically was a line where you have magnet-activated things, so if you look inside its mouth, you have a magnet in there or something, and it would like open a cage or something or do something. Honestly, I think that's a really cool idea, and it's super sad that it got canceled due to the fact that I believe it was a Toys R Us exclusive, and you know, we all know what happened to Toys R Us. They all shut down except for like a few, and they eventually canceled the second wave of the line, which included this Dimetrodon. Well, not this one exactly, but the same sculpt and everything. But honestly, it was a pretty cool looking paint scheme, and it would be super cool if they had kept that paint scheme for this one. But no, they didn't do that. Yeah. So honestly, I think they should bring something back like that, because Mattel has a lack of fun little play sets. Like, this is the kind of thing I would want to play with if I was like a 8-year-old. Like, this would be super fun to like play with your dinosaurs and let them open their mouth and like open a cage. That would be cool. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm speaking a new language that has not been discovered that is known as blah blah wordish. But anyways, that's on to this Dimetrodon. That's pretty much all that goes into its history. So you can sort of know this one was meant to release in a different line, but that got canceled, and it released as a different figure, and it's got a very fun little coloration here. It has blue and green and red, and I think those colors go really nicely together. And it's got these sort of little specklies all over its sail. It looks really fun. That's pretty much it. It's not the best looking figure, but it definitely isn't the worst. Although the sculpt is a little weird. It looks more like a dinosaur than a synapsid, but you know what? It's Mattel. What do we expect? I mean, at least they fixed it when Dominion came out. I will give them points for that. But it has only 3 toes on each foot, which is weird because, I mean, this one has 5 feet. This one has 5 feet. Five toes. This one has 5 toes, and this one has 5. I mean, they're the same sculpt, so I don't know what I'm going on that. But yeah, it was a little weird. And it always bugged me, so I'm really happy that they changed it. But that one out of the way, let's move on to these funny boys. So we have the Dominion versions. We have the Dominion versions of the Dimetrodon. Of course, they are sculpted to look like the one seen in the movies, and this one is even painted to look like that one. Very boring paint scheme, to be honest. It's not really, you know, it's just kind of a swampy green. It's a really ugly color, to be honest. Now this one, however, this one's nice. I like this one's color scheme. Getting a little bit toxic acid looking to me, and I kind of like that. And it looks very nice. So I would say this is probably my favorite one colorized. Of course, this one's my number one favorite. Honestly, I don't know what I'm even saying. I like Dimetrodon. Do you like Dimetrodon? I think Dimetrodons are pretty cool. So if you also like Dimetrodons, make sure to tune in for next week's episode of Jurassic Comparisons. And by next week, I meant tomorrow, because this is a daily series. Yeah, you got that right. We aren't waiting 7 days for a new episode. We're doing it right now. So if you want to see next day's episode, just make sure to stick around, and maybe you'll know what dinosaur we're doing next. I mean, this is a complete mystery. I wonder what dinosaur is next. Not that today's episode was a dinosaur, but yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.